Right, this is gonna be tricky today. One, because my tea's up on the ledge there. It's gonna be tough for me to reach it, but I'll try. And two, because this is a tricky video for me to make. It might be controversial, and if it is to you, please leave comments below. I want to have a dialogue about this. It's just something I feel like I need to get off my chest because I'm so open about IVF and infertility. I've had an experience in the last week and I want to talk about it, so let's dive in. Before we get started, I just want to give you guys an update on where things are with my latest and first round of IVF treatment. If you're new here, hello, my name is Eileen Vincett, and I'm an American expat living in Switzerland who has also had the ridiculously unlucky misfortune of 7 miscarriages. If you do like this video, please consider subscribing and check out some of my other ones to get caught up. In the last week, I've been pumping pills like a boss. I've got those Primulot pills that I showed you in one of my earlier videos that are like birth control basically, but I'm taking 2 a day. It's been interesting. I've had the side effects of blues, which might be psychosomatic. I don't know if I'm like, oh, well, I'm taking the pills, so now I'm sad. But I've just felt a little off. And my husband's been amazing. He's always super patient, but just things haven't quite been right. It's just sucks, basically. And I've also been eating a small country's worth of food. I've been eating a lot. It really bothers me. I'm thinking all the time about, okay, so what crazy diet am I gonna do if this doesn't work? Or if I get pregnant and have kids, what crazy diet am I gonna do to lose this weight afterwards? I'm thinking about that all the time, which is ridiculous. I need to focus on the prize of getting pregnant. I've just felt a little off. I've had the weird side effects with the pills. I'm gonna be on these until March 12th. And then I will go in for an appointment and then I'll start doing the shots. Really looking forward to that. Really not looking forward to getting shots. I have to share with you, I mentioned in my last video that when I get to my doctor's appointments, I have this weird moment every time I get up to check in where I just go, how did I get here? How did I get to this moment, not able to get pregnant and hold a pregnancy? Now I'm doing IVF. Like, this was never my story. And my dear, dear friend, Javier, who lives in New York City, he's gonna be so embarrassed because I'm gonna play his audio message that he sent me this message afterwards. And I just wanna share it with all of you guys out there if you are going through the same, why me? Why is this happening to me? How did I get here? Listen to the wise words of my incredible friend in New York.
Darling, my love, I love you. I just saw your video. Happy you're starting IVF. So when the question comes up, how did I get here? Say, thank you for bringing me this far, and embrace this process as much as you can. Like, instead of, you know, when that thought of like, how did I get here comes, say to yourself, thank you for bringing me this far. You know, it's a Jedi mind game, of course, so you got this, girl.
Can we talk about it? I am very guilty of falling in the, why me? Why is this happening? Angry, and we're gonna get more to that in a minute. But I'm guilty of it. Of course we all are. This is horrible. This is a nightmare. But you need those reminders. I'm so thankful that Javier sent that message to go, wait a minute, let's think about this from a different angle. Let's come at it from a positive route. Thank you so much for getting me this far. I mean, I think back to some of my lowest moments and I'm still here. Like, we are still going. We are gonna try everything we can. And it goes back to my original mantra. It all works out in the end. And if it hasn't worked out, it's not the end. It's not the end. And if it doesn't work out, that won't be the end for me or any of us. I feel like I'm taking y'all to church and I am not a church person, but his message really touched me that like I need to be gracious and thankful that emotionally and physically I have gotten this far given what we've gone through. I know Javier watches my videos. Thank you for that. I love you. And I told you were gonna make your debut. You're a star now, darling, you're a star. So that's kind of where things stand with me. The main thing I want to talk about today is something within the infertility community. It starts with bitterness. Now this is tricky. I watched a video earlier today talking about the difference between anger and bitterness. And this woman was saying that anger is when you vocalize, I'm really angry about this. Why is this happening? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? That's anger. And bitterness, she was saying, and it resonated with me, is when you hold it in. You hold your cards really close, all that anger. You don't share it, and it festers and it grows and it turns you into something that you're not, because you are holding all of this anger and resentment. And I think I'm really lucky because I made the decision to go public with our struggles with miscarriage and infertility. And that is an outlet for me to let my anger out. And I also have the luxury, because I'm comfortable with it, not everybody is, that I'm open in my community about it. Anybody who wants to talk to me about it, I am open and I discuss it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I still have rough times. I mean, believe me, I have really rough times. You've seen them on here. I'm very thankful that I don't think I have a deep-rooted bitterness about my situation. I just want to put that out there and see what people think about it. Like, do you feel this way? Do you feel like you have a healthy outlet to get your anger out, and in a way that it's out there and you can kind of move forward? Or are you holding it in? Are you feeling bitter about your situation? And if you are, like, how do you deal with that? Is that holding you back? And this segues perfectly into the next area, bitterness. And in the infertility community, I've run into, in the last few days, shaming, like, among our community, which I was shocked by. I think I've been living in like an infertility, rainbows and butterflies and unicorns bubble with like a really super supportive network. Over on Instagram, there's lots of people. There's Shelly Metling, there's Carissa Barzi. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Carissa Barzi, there's Phil and Alex. There are lots of people who struggle with infertility, IVF, and recurring pregnancy loss. And their message is overall one of hope, even like in dark times. It's not all pretty, but it is one of, we'll get there, it's okay. And I think I've just been thinking everybody's in that space. I made a bit of a mistake last weekend. Hands up, I made a mistake. I went over to Reddit, and I've never been on Reddit before, but one of my viewers had said, go over to Reddit, there's a really good community where you can feel supported and you can learn a lot and blah, blah. So I went over and I joined an infertility group, wrote a post introducing myself, and gave a little bit about our background, and at the end I gave my mantra, which I said at the beginning of this video, like, and don't forget ladies, like, it all works out in the end, and if it hasn't worked out, it's not the end. Very quickly, somebody came back very nice and said, you know, welcome to the group. I just want to let you know that some people might find, and I'm paraphrasing, but some people might find your last statement to be insensitive, and it might be a trigger, it might upset some people. My own fault. I took it personally, which I shouldn't have done. I should have just, you know, let it roll off, maybe deleted it or something. But I was really taken aback that, oh, something of encouragement or hope passed on would be seen as negative. And this is me living in a bubble of being surrounded by people who are like super positive about the situation. And then, I mean, the comments started coming fast and furious, because I challenged it a little bit. I said, oh, where is the line? Like, what am I allowed to say to support people but not allowed to say? And because it's the internet, it's a chat room, nobody can hear the tone of my voice. They just read a text and people take things personally. I mean, we all know how it works. Why do I ever debate anything political on Facebook? It always turns ugly. So I put this comment out there, and then like the comments started getting really aggressive. Like one woman told me that I made her want to puke, and I was snarky, and I had a huge ego, and the people that are in my real life probably want to tell me that I'm snarky and terrible, more or less, but they don't have the nerve to. It was so visceral and angry and bitter, I felt like. So I took the post down. I took the post down and decided this probably isn't the group for me. Definitely, let me say outright, this group has been incredible for a lot of women, and they've gotten a ton of support and a ton of medical reference and stuff like that. So I'm not knocking the group at all. It just wasn't right for me. So I decided to leave. That one particular comment that really came for me was really, really angry. I went and I did a bit of reading into her background, and she's been through hell. So I don't have any bitter feelings towards her. I don't. But it was very interesting to see within the community how we've been through it, and sometimes we go for each other. And in my case, I thought it was really weird because we were going for each other over a comment trying to give hope. It was just, yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just think it's a conversation I want to have among the community. Like, why do we shame each other? Why are we shaming and putting each other down when really we're just all trying to help each other out, and we're all trying to muddle our way through this absolute nightmare that we're living? If I was to react in such a huge way every time somebody makes some kind of, I don't know, pregnancy announcement or joke about, you know, why do you only have one kid? When are you gonna have more children? If I lashed out, I would be so angry all the time. It's just not good. It's not healthy. Like, I am really on a roll today. Sorry, guys. My absolute favorite podcast, Armchair Expert, which I talk about on the channel all the time. Chelsea Panetti, is that how you say her name? She was a guest on the show last week, and Dax Shepard made a very innocent statement, very naive, innocent statement saying people envy Kristen Bell and I. They think we have it all, but really what we have that brings us the most joy anybody can have, we have children. And his co-host was very quick to say, you know, actually not everybody can have children. And Chelsea, being a comedian, made a joke. Yeah, shout out to all the people going through miscarriage out there. Ha ha ha. Everybody starts laughing. But she made a really bad joke, and then to try to clean up the mess of the joke, Dax and Monica said like, yeah, shout out to IVF, tough schedule. Like, it was so awkward and so cringy and so painful, and rightfully so. That should enrage the whole infertility community. But we have to remember, guys, we have to remember that before we got on this train to hell, we didn't know. We had no idea how tough it was gonna be. No idea. I am guilty, so guilty, hands up, of somebody getting married and saying, so are you guys thinking about having kids? When are you thinking about having another kid? Because I didn't know how insensitive that was. And yes, it's people's responsibility to learn about sensitive topics like that and what's appropriate and what's not. And there's lots of videos on YouTube helping out with that. I have a few of those myself. But I think at the same time, we can be really angry about what we're going through right now. But it is not good for any of us to hold a bunch of bitterness and rage towards people on the outside of the infertility community who make passing comments and they don't realize how hurtful they are. If it bothers us so much, speak up. Speak up. Say to them like, well, actually, I've really struggled and I'm going through IVF now. I've had losses. Speak up if it really bothers you, because going behind their back and being completely bitter and raging, it doesn't help anybody move forward. It doesn't help the person who said it. It doesn't help you. So talk to them about it, or let it roll off, because you might not want to talk about it. Just let it roll off. I've just had so many thoughts about this in the last few days. We have two options here when people on the outside or people on the inside come for us shaming, or they make comments that are insensitive. We have the choice to say something or to let it roll off and move forward and try to keep the energy around us as positive as we possibly can. One other thing I want to say, just defending those on the outside, is when it's in the context of infertility, a lot of people don't know what to say. It's uncomfortable, and I get it. I deal with it every day, so it's not uncomfortable for me, and I put it all out there. But I was getting my hair done yesterday, yes, thank you, and my hairstylist asked me about it, which I really appreciated. She's Italian, she's lovely. And we were talking, and she's like, I have to be honest, I don't really know what to say. It's uncomfortable to talk about. I hope you're okay talking about it. And I thought about that. I was like, you know what? It probably is really uncomfortable for her. The same way, the only comparison I can think of is the same way it would be hard for me to talk to somebody who suddenly lost a child, or lost a child to suicide, or a sibling to suicide. I wouldn't know what to say. And people on the outside, we have to remember, they don't know what to say most of the time. There are some people that are just assholes. Just write them off. I'm talking about people who have good intentions, but just are at a loss for words. Let's have some grace towards those people, right? I hope this video sort of made sense. I hope it spoke to you. Hopefully good, but if it's bad, that's okay too. Please put comments below. I would love to start a conversation, and I can make more videos about it. We just gotta stick together, guys. We gotta stick together in this infertility community. I'm cheering for all of you. I'm cheering for all of you. And I believe it will all work out in the end. And if it hasn't worked out, this isn't the end. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. I promise all my videos aren't rants like this. Please check out some of my others. And you can also find me over on Instagram. I am at Eileen Vincett. I will see you guys next week. Have an awesome, 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 awesome weekend. And I will talk to y'all soon. Take care. Bye.